Hi, this is Gautam Puri. Welcome to this GP ka CLAT Funder, the first episode, and I'll be meeting you every week. So please don't forget to click on the subscribe and the like buttons so that you can stay updated with whatever I'm doing. Okay. What will we do today? CLAT legal reasoning. The biggest problem most students have is unfamiliar passage. मैं थक गया हूँ ये सुन के from students कि I can handle regular passages, unfamiliar passages I can't handle. I'm actually confused with this. So which is why I think अगर हम unfamiliar passage की बात करें तो पहली चीज that we should do is check out what the CLAT consortium say about what the paper is, because we have to listen from the horse's mouth, because remember we have to prepare for the paper, and the people who prepare the paper is the CLAT consortium. What is the paper? What do they say about paper is very, very important for us. In fact, if you remember, CLAT 2020 new pattern was introduced, and it was introduced when it was introduced. Professor Faizan Mustafa, who was heading the CLAT consortium at that point of time, came out with a series of videos to explain the rationale, the logic, and उनकी आप लोग से क्या expectation. This is the video link, and the link is given even in the comment section. So please click on it and go through this. This video of Professor Faizan Mustafa, extremely important कि आप लोग ये देखें. Okay. Now, what did he say about the paper? First, it is not a test of memory. Okay. Second is very, very important for you. NLUs will teach law. आपको law करके आने की जरूरत नहीं है. Law हम लोग पढ़ाएंगे in NLUs. You as a candidate, don't worry about learning law. Focus on reasoning and your ability to draw inferences. It is a reasoning. It's a logic paper. It is not a paper for which you need to know law. So when you talk about familiar and familiar passage, most of you are saying यार ये contracts तो मैंने किया हुआ है, उससे passage आता है तो मैं संभाल लूंगा. I have done constitution, anything from constitution I can handle it. But you give me a strange passage which is not from the regular law kind of passage, then I have a problem. All you are saying is I am not willing to draw inferences. I am not someone who's capable of drawing inferences, what you're saying. Okay? So let's address the elephant in the room and say कि यार क्या चीज है ये unfamiliar passage, क्या होता है, and let us see उसका क्या करना है. Okay? So first thing is, जब तुम लोग कहते हो कि familiar passage, most of the time you are saying it is either torts, or it is constitution, or it is contracts, or it is criminal law, or something similar, something which you have studied in the area of law. Now, why do we teach you law? We give you basics of law to develop a basic sense of law, to get an understanding of law, not so that you become a lawyer. Remember, law will be taught to you inside the MLUs. Okay? And any passage which does not belong to this is called an unseen, unfamiliar passage. That is what you say. Okay. Second thing, in these so-called familiar passages, the principle is given to you. Remember the principal fact kind of question which used to come in CLAT. Those are the kind of passages which you think are easy to handle because the principle is clearly given. मगर यहाँ पे तो principle ढूंढना पड़ेगा तुम्हें. You'll have to find out what is the principle. Only then you can apply the principle. And the familiar passages, even your knowledge was important. Why? Because you have studied the legal principle, that particular act, you know a bit about it, and using that knowledge you could solve the question. But out here, not only do you need to identify the principle, you also have to apply, which means you have to again go back to that last line in the previous slide. Yeah. This is the task. This is the final task, and if you cannot handle it, is going to be a problem. And as far as CLAT is concerned, the focus is more and more towards so-called unfamiliar passages, and hence you need to learn to identify the principle and to apply the principle. Okay. So what should you do and what should you not do? पहली चीज जो नहीं करनी है, यार please research मत करो. You are not meant to do R&D on law. I've seen students with law books of which students study in third year of college. Why do you need it? You don't need it at all. Please forget about it. This urge to do research in every aspect which is connected to law is a complete waste of time for you. Okay? Secondly, this is important. This is what you should do. This is going to be helpful to you not only in legal reasoning but also in current affairs general knowledge. Why? Because passages connected to those later subjects could come. If you have read about them, your understanding of those issues will be much better. Okay, and current affairs. In any case, these questions can come. So keep yourself updated onto the important legal issues of the day. Okay? And yes, this is what you need to learn to figure out the rule and principle in the passage, and also to be able to apply it. And this is what we'll be doing today. We'll see, okay, how to identify and how to apply the rules and principles which can be identified from the passage. What you should not do, जो कहता नहीं करना है, वही यही चीज है. The same, भैया तुम PhD नहीं कर रहे हो लॉ के अंदर, don't worry about it. If you want to do it, think about it after 5 years of your BA LLB. Okay? Second, don't get down to reading everything. Just, I've seen students have a habit of collecting material, data, all kind of thing. No, whatever the LST material given to you, please finish it off. Online in your My LST, बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. Please do them. Finish off what is provided. After that, you can look at anything else if required, and I can assure most of the time nothing else would be required. Okay? So let's get down to understanding how do we go about doing it. And it is, while it is a jugaad method, why jugaad method? Because common sense. जुगाड़ is using all resources optimally. That is the way I would define it. जो भी कुछ है आपके पास उसको useful proper तरीके से, if you are able to use it, you are doing जुगाड़. It is a very very simple process that we adopt. First thing, मैं सवाल passage पढ़ता हूँ first. Many students I find want to read the questions first and then go to the passage. Why? What will you get out of the question? Most of the question will be 4 or 5 line questions. If you have a 5-line question, to read it yourself, you will spend about half a minute, if not more. And if there are 4 or 5 different questions, not necessarily all of them will be picking the same principle or the rules from the passage. A passage can have multiple principles or rules. So why should you be doing anything by reading the questions? For read the passage first. At least समझ तो आ जाए क्या बात कर रहे हैं, because this is where you have to identify the relevant rule of principle. Because if you cannot identify the relevant rule of principle, then there's nothing to discuss in then what will you do with the question? So to me, this is the most important aspect, that you have to identify the rule of principle. And so what you need to do, look on those paragraphs, those passages, those lines, those words where you can see some kind of a rule or principle. And many times you'll find some explanation also for those rules and principles, which makes it clear. This is allowed, this is not allowed, this can be done, this cannot be done. So that explanation or detailing of the rule or principle is something which is given, and these two together will help you answer the question. It is these two which we'll use to answer the questions. Okay. Based on these two, when I say you answer the question, they will give you a boundary. Okay, this is what is allowed, this is what is not allowed, and this does not change depending on the familiarity of the passage. These two things and application and identifying the boundary condition is what is important, and it is relevant both in familiar as well as unfamiliar passages. Couple of more things just to remind you what Professor Faizan Mustafa said. भैया रीजनिंग का पेपर है, नॉलेज का नहीं है, लॉ बाद में पढ़ाएंगे. So focus should be on reasoning, not on collecting knowledge. So reading all kind of law books is not going to be of any help to you. On the contrary, it might be detrimental to your effort for CLAT. Okay. Second, very very important, many students make this mistake. Okay. Now there are two kind of answers. One is the correct answer. Okay. Second is the best option. A particular question may or may not have the exactly correct answer, but bhaiya best option to hamesha hogi. So out of the 4 choices, your job is not to pick up the correct answer. Your job is to pick up the best among the options. So the appropriate answer is what is required. The correct or the absolutely correct may or may not be available, because law end of the day is a little bit subjective, and you should be able to pick out the best option. Is the expectations of the given options available, which one makes the most sense, is the answer that I am looking for. Okay. So let's move forward and check out ये जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ मेथड ये काम करेगा कि नहीं. तो भैया देखते हैं किस पे देखेंगे. We'll do 2 passages, but where will these passages come from? CLAT. So in CLAT 2020, before CLAT 2020, when CLAT came out with this series of videos from Professor Faizan Mustafa, they also shared sample papers, and I picked up 2 passages from these sample papers. Okay, we'll go through those sample papers and see whether we can identify the principle and answer the question based on the principle. These are what you will most of you will call कि ये unfamiliar passage है. Okay, so आगे चलो करके देखते हैं. First passage. Let's read together. I'll read slowly, and wherever required, I'll try to highlight or underline the relevant stuff. The government on January 9 lifted the bar on taxpayers having joint property ownership from filing income tax returns on ITR 1 and 4. Lifted the bar, that means people with joint property ownership can now file income tax returns in Form 1 and 4, which are meant for people with income up to 50 lakh per annum from salary, business or profession. Income has to be from salary, business or profession. Provided such taxpayers' income from salary, business, profession is below 50 lakhs. Okay. The important stuff is, I'll just highlight the relevant part for you. Okay. So what does it say? Taxpayers having joint property ownership can file income tax returns in ITR Form 1 and 4, provided their income from salary, business or profession is below 50 lakhs. Three things only. Your income from salary, business or profession should be below 50 lakhs. Second, you should not have, so you can have joint property ownership. Third, you can file hence income tax return in 1 and 4 rather than in any other form. Okay, so this is what it is saying. So this is basically giving me the rule or the principle, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'll call it P1. Why P1? Because there could be multiple principles. So I'm saying this is the first principle which I'm able to pick out. Let's go further. An official statement from CBDT said the eligibility norms for filing income tax returns, returns in income tax Form 1 and Form 4 have been eased. The move comes after taxpayers expressed concerns about the conditions regarding use of these forms that were notified on 3rd January. The earlier notification had said that persons who own a property in joint ownership were not eligible to file their tax returns in these two forms. It also meant that certain persons who are required to file return only because of certain transactions entered during the year, such as bank deposit above 1 crore, spending more than rupees 2 lakhs on foreign travel, spending rupees more than 1 lakh on energy consumption, were not able to use these two forms and instead had to go for more detailed forms. Right? Okay. Now, what is this? To me, this is the detailing or the explanation. Okay. So the detailing has been given here. The principle is given up. Okay. So let me just highlight the detailing part, the relevant. Earlier, what was the case? Persons who had joint ownership were not eligible to file. Okay. In addition to that, certain persons who were required to file only because of certain transactions. Which are those transactions? Bank deposits over 1 crore, spending of more than 2 lakhs, and this. So earlier, if you had any one of these, you had to file an income tax return in the bigger form. Now it says if you have to file a return only because you have a deposit of more than 1 crore rupees, only because you have spent more than 2 lakhs on foreign travels, or only because you have spent more than 1 lakh in energy consumption, you can also file the return in ITR forms 1 and 4. So who are the 4 kind of people? People having joint property ownership. Obviously, the primary condition is less than 50 lakhs of income from salary, business or profession. Okay, this is there. Iske baad, the sub part is you can have joint property ownership. Second, you can have if you are filing return only because of deposit of more than 1 crore, or only because of more than 2 lakhs spent on foreign travel, or only because of 1 lakh or more on energy consumption, even then you can file the return in ITR 1 and 4. Okay. Taxpayers owning multiple house properties, however, will have to file the detailed. So multiple house properties वाले को allowed नहीं किया है. As the government believes that additional house properties as investment, not as basic need. So can I say this is a limitation which has been put, or constraint, okay, or the boundary which has been created out here. Okay. So by and large, this is the principle and this is the detailing or the explanation which has given to you. So we understand, just to repeat, what are the 4 or 5 things? First, your income from salary, business or profession has to be below 50 lakhs. If that is there and you have joint property ownership, you can file ITR 1 and 4. Secondly, if you are filing an income tax return only because you have a deposit of 1 crore or more in your account, only because you have spent more than 2 lakhs on foreign travel, and you are filing an income tax return only because you have more than 1 lakh in energy consumption, you can also file ITR 1 and 4. Finally, If you have multiple house properties, and even if you have income of less than 50 lakhs, you still need to go for the detailed form. ITR 1 and 4 not allowed for you. Okay, great. Now let's go to the questions. Principle भी आ गया, explanation भी आ गया, तो सवाल ही आंसर करने हैं. Parvez is a doctor and has a successful practice that he has been running in the big city for past 20 years. He earns rupees 60 lakhs. मर गया. ITR 1-4 not allowed. Income from business, salary or profession is more than 50 lakhs. Hence, he is not eligible. But let's go to the question. But also has to spend rupees 30 lakhs per year on expenses for his practice. Was there any information about whether expenditure has to be looked at? No. Expenditure की तो बात ही नहीं की, तो मैं उसकी बजा ही नहीं सकता. To me, it is 60 lakhs which is important. He lives with his wife in a flat that is owned by his wife. Parvez tries to file income tax return on January 7 using ITR 1 and 4. That he's ineligible. Yeah, he's ineligible. Okay. Parvez challenges this decision. No, he will not be successful. Income more than 60 lakhs, he's not eligible. There's no mention of expenditure, so expenditure is not what I will worry about. So, choice D. You want to go through the choices? Yes, because his flat is owned. No, this is not the issue of who owns the flat. The issue is what is his income. He spends a lot of money in earns. Again, no, the passage or the principle or the rule does not talk about the expenditure part, so not relevant to us. No, since he's living property owned by someone else, equivalent, absolutely irrelevant. Okay. Second question. Using his income from medical practice, Parvez buys the flat adjoining to the one that he stays in with his wife. Okay. So the first one is owned by his wife. This one is owned by Parvez. Okay. Is it joint property ownership? No. Wife has a different flat. Parvez has a different flat. Instantly, both of them are next to each other, so they have broken the wall. But these are two different properties. No joint ownership, no multiple properties, right? The couple decides to break the wall, okay, and combine them into large house for themselves. He also buys the chamber where he conducts his practice, a smart set of rooms in the office building, okay. So, is it multiple house property? No, this is chamber, which is office. So, this is office. So, as far as Parvez is concerned, house property, he has one. Office, he has one. Any condition with respect to office? No. One house property, he is eligible. Provided his income is less than 60 lakhs, 50 lakhs, sorry. These are the first properties Parvez has bought. He does not own any other property. Next year, however, Parvez's income reduces to rupees 30 lakhs for the entire year. Would he be eligible for income tax returns in ITR 1 and 4 for the year? Obviously, yes. He will be eligible. Why? Income less than 50 lakhs from business, salary or profession. Secondly, he has only one house property. No multiple house property, so he is eligible. So answer has to be yes. Everyone with income, no. It says everyone with income below 60 can file return. No, not everyone. There are conditions attached to that also. Okay, he does not own multiple. He owns multiple properties, but the condition is to not multiple properties, but to house properties. He has got only one house property. Yes, his income is below the prescribed limit and he does not own. Obviously, there's choice C. Choice D, just for academic purpose, since combining his flat with wife's means he has now jointly owns. No, his property is his property, his wife's property is his wife's property. Till the time they combine the two, or they legally become a part of the owner of the property, it is not a joint property. Wife owns one property, Parvez owns one property. End of the story. Okay. Third question. Seema runs a large software business and earns rupees 35 lakhs from business, less than 50 lakhs from business, eligible. Okay. Her offices are located in Bangalore and most of her clients are located in Delhi. Seema has to travel a lot between these two cities and spends an equal amount of time in both cities. So she rents a flat in each city. Is there any problem with renting a flat? No. The problem is in owning multiple properties. Renting multiple properties, there's no issue at all. And lives in those flats rather than staying in hotels. Can Seema file return? Yes, she can. Income less than 50 lakhs, no multiple properties or no property actually. Okay. So choice A, yes, since her income is below prescribed limit, definitely good answer choice. Yes, she spends her time between differences. No, this got nothing to do with it. No, since she has two flats. No, she has two rented flats. She's not owning them. Choice D, she runs a large software business and income from business. Why should income from business be combined with her own income? No. Choice A. income is below 50 lakhs, she is eligible, and income from business, profession or salary. Question 4th, Rupert, student of law, stays in hostel provided by his college, says in house in a different city. Parents send him rupees 5,000 per month for his expenses, which he transfers to his bank account. Rupert inherited a flat in posh location in the city from his uncle this year and decided to sell it. He sold the flat for 2 crore, which amount the purchaser transferred to Rupert's account. Can he file a return in income tax return 1 and 4? Okay, obviously yes. First of all, does he have? Why will he need to file a return? He will need to file a return only because of a deposit of greater than 1 crore. Otherwise, he does not have income. The only thing he is getting is 5,000 rupees as support money from his parents. That is not his income from business, salary or profession. So he's got no income. He did not need to file a return, but for the fact that he deposited 2 crore rupees in his account. And this is the only reason why he needs to file a return. That means he's eligible for ITR 1 and 4. ITR 1 and 4, he is eligible. Okay. So, yes, since he has not income in the yes is fine, but I'm not happy with the reason. Choice B, yes, since his money deposited in his account is not income from salary, business or profession. Between choice A and B, B is a complete answer. Okay. Remember I said don't look for the exact answer, look for the best among the choices. Between A and B, B is better because it is giving you the complete explanation. Choice C, inheriting a property is similar to jointly owning a property with them. No, inheriting is not jointly owning. Inheriting, he has inherited, now he is the sole owner. But even that does not matter. Income in the year has been much more than no. Income is not there. And again, income is again repeating income from business, profession or salary. Last question of this particular passage. Safina and her son live in a house that Safina owns in the outskirts of the city. After son's wedding, Safina buys a flat in the middle of city and tells her son that he and his wife can live there. She earns an interest of rupees 55 lakhs from a large deposit that her mother left her when she passed away, and Safina lives on this interest alone. 55 lakh rupees. This is her income. Is this income from salary, business, or profession? No. This is not from either salary or business or profession. So she does not have a salary of more than 50 lakhs from business income, business salary or profession. So she is eligible for ITR 1 and 4. So as far as ITR 1 and 4 are concerned, she is eligible. Okay? So far. Her work as care provider in the local charity hospital does not get her salary. Can Safina file a return? Okay, so first condition is satisfied. Income less than 55 lakhs, she is eligible. But how many house properties does she have? She has got 2 houses. Which one? The one in which she stays and the other one which is given to her son and her daughter-in-law to stay. Who owns them? She owns them. Safina owns both the properties. Since she has multiple house properties, with multiple house properties, she cannot take advantage of these two forms, ITR 1 and 4. Okay, so choice A is wrong. She bought a flat not as an investment. Does not matter whether you bought it as an investment or to stay. She owns 2 properties, multiple house properties, not eligible. Okay. Choice C, she owns since she owns multiple house properties, absolutely right. So income is above. No, income is from salary, business and profession. Hence, choice C is going to be the correct answer. Okay. Shall we go to the next passage? एक और देख लेते हैं. Okay. This one is slightly longer. पहला छोटा passage लिया था. Now we look at a slightly longer passage. Tripura High Court has said that mere presence of a government employee at a political rally cannot be termed as participation in a political activity in violation of the conduct rules. Right? First line is giving me a principle. The principle is very, very clear. Again, I'll just highlight the relevant stuff. Mere presence of a government employee in a political rally cannot be termed as participation in political activity. Just because you are present there does not mean you have participated in the political activity. That is what it's saying. Okay. Okay. A petition filed by Lipika Paul, who was suspended 5 days before retirement from the state government fisheries department in April 2018. The grounds for suspension were taking part in a political rally organized by a particular party at Agartala on December 31, 2017. The department had claimed this was in violation of the Tripura Civil Services Conduct Rules 1988. Okay. So this is another rule or the principle which is coming. What is it? That Tripura Civil Services Conduct Rules 1988, which applies to employees of state government and which prohibit participation of. So there's another principle which is given out here. Okay, I'll just highlight this also. Okay, yeah. So what does Tripura Civil Services Conduct Rules etc. say, which apply to employees? It prohibits participation of state government employees in political activities. Now there are two ways to look at it. Either you can say these are two different principles, or now with this additional knowledge you can say this is the principle and this is an explanation. The Tripura High Court has explained this principle, that in the what conditions can you apply this principle and where you cannot. The High Court has not said you cannot, that you can participate. He is saying participation has been defined. So while the principle is here, I will say this is the principle and here participation has been defined. So it's an explanation. Okay. This is the explanation. This is the explanation of the principle to some extent. Okay. Let's go further. Lipika, an upper division clerk, had pointed out even if the allegation were true, there could be no violation of the conduct rules. The government lawyer contended that the charges had been framed after the department had found she had participated in political rally and apparently made a Facebook post criticizing candidates of other parties. Okay. There is a vital difference between attending a rally and participating in a rally. The Tripura High Court said the Tripura High Court Chief Justice Akhil Qureshi. Now this is flowing from the first line. So participation versus presence. Attending a rally or participating in a rally, again that part is attending a rally and participation in a rally are two different things. Okay, then the explanation continued. In the judgment ruling in favor of Lipika Paul, the High Court observed that during election times, political parties and their leaders organize rallies and address public gatherings. The presence of a person does not either establish his or her political affiliation. A student of politics, enthusiastic young man, reporter, or a curious bystander, all are likely to be present at any political gathering. Even an opponent or critic of the political party may attend the gathering, said Chief Justice Qureshi. So what has he said? Attending is not equal to participating in a rally. And what was the Tripura government rule? It prohibited participation in political activity. So you cannot participate in political activity. You can attend the rally because attending can be for multiple purposes. That does not mean you are indulging in political activity. Okay. Therefore, the petitioner's mere presence without any further action would not amount to a participation in such a political gathering. After perusing through the Facebook post, the High Court said there was nothing in the text which suggests canvassing for or against any political party. Okay. It only expresses certain beliefs of the petitioner in general terms. As a government servant, the petitioner is not devoid of her rights of free speech, a fundamental right which can be contained only by valid law. She was entitled to her own beliefs and expresses them in the manner she desired, of course subject to not crossing down the borders laid down by conduct rules under judgment. Okay? So what does it mean? First of all, you can attend. Attending is not equivalent to participating in political activity. There can be multiple reasons for you to attend. So that is first part of the story. Second, regarding the Facebook post, what does it say? Just because you have written something on the Facebook does not mean you have participated in political activity. And because specifically what is it talking about? She has a right of free speech. Just because she is a government servant does not mean her right to free speech has been taken away. And all she has done is given her, she has shared her beliefs. And she has not participated in any activity which is political nature. She has not said anything in favor of or against of specific political parties. That is all it has said. Okay, great. Questions? Rajan runs a private civil engineering firm and often provides various services to government of Tripura. One day he attends a rally by a political party opposed to the party in power in the state. Next day the state government decides to cancel all contracts awarded to Rajan firm, claiming he had violated conduct rules. Rajan challenges the decision. But who is it eligible? On whom are the conduct rules to be applied? I'm going back to the passage because I'm not sure how many of you have picked it up. Applies to state government employees. Applies to employees of the state government. Is Rajan an employee of the state government? No. If he's not an employee of the state government, he cannot be covered under this particular act. Okay. So, will Rajan succeed? Yes, Rajan will succeed. Why? Because he's not an employee of the state government. Okay. Yeah, choice C. See, this is not a government employee. And this particular act is applicable only on government, on employees of government of state of Tripura. Okay. So if they are employees of some other state, it is not applicable on them. This particular law. Okay. Second question. Sabita is an officer with Election Commission of India, which is an agency of the central government. This is a central government agency, and what is the law all about? It is about the Tripura government employees. Okay, so we have information only about the Tripura government employees that conduct rules. Okay, she is posted in Tripura and she decided to attend a political rally in the state. At the rally, she went up to the stage, made a speech against the government of the state. With this, okay, she has participated in political activity, no doubt about it. Okay, when this was reported in the newspapers next day, the government of Tripura asked to be dismissed from service for violating the conduct rules. But these conduct rules are applicable only to employees of Tripura government. Is Sabita an employee of the Tripura government? No. Election Commission, which is an agency of central government, so she's she's an employee of the central government. So Tripura government conduct rules will not be applicable for her. Will the government of Tripura succeed? No. Okay, so no, she will not succeed. She's an employee of the central government, not she? No. Mary is making speeches. No, it was clear participation in political activity, but she is not an employee of the state government. So Tripura government will not succeed for violation of its conduct rules. Maybe there's some other conduct rule of central government which she's violated, but as far as Tripura government conduct rules are concerned, they are only connected to the employees of Tripura government. Third question. Kalpana works with the revenue department of the government of Tripura while she's on lunch break one day. She saw a political rally led by opposition from the window of her office. She was deeply affected by the slogans made by the rally, and when she went home, she posted some messages on Twitter account criticizing the policies of government of Tripura. Is it not exactly the same as Lipika Paul case? And what was the court ruling? That Lipika Paul has not indulged in political activity. I will go with the same logic here also. Government of Tripura now wishes to dismiss her for having violating the conduct rules. Will the government succeed? No. Exactly the same Lipika Paul page she had posted on Facebook, and this lady Kalpana has posted on Twitter. She has not agreed with certain policies. She is criticizing the policy. As an individual, you can criticize the policy, no issues at all. Okay. So, will the Tripura government succeed? No. She only won the rally, did not participate. She has not participated and really expresses her opinion through Twitter post. Again, compare choice C and D. Both of them are right, but D is a better option because it is looking at all aspects. C is only talking about the rally. D is also talking about the rally and also a Twitter post. So it's a better option between the two. Fourth question. Pradeep is an employee of government of Tripura. Great. And holds some political views. He secretly publishes pamphlets from home which support the agenda of a particular political party. He is clearly indulging in political activity. Okay. So as far as Pradeep is concerned, in Kalpana's case, there was no political activity out here. But as far as Pradeep is concerned, it's clearly a case of indulging in political activity. He's violating the rules of the Tripura government, conduct rules of the Tripura government, and he's an employee of Tripura government. His superior at works finds out about this and reports to some superior officials in the government. Government of Tripura dismisses Pradeep for having violated conduct rules. Pradeep challenges, will he succeed? No, he will not succeed. Okay. No, since he has participated in political activity by publishing pamphlets supporting a particular political party. I will go with this one, but let's look at the choice D also. No, he has not participated in political rallies. No, that is not the issue. He has to indulge. Attending political party rallies in any case is not an issue. Okay? So choice B becomes the correct answer. Last question. Ratan, a bus conductor who works with the state government on Tripura Road Transport Corporation. Tripura government owns State Transport Corporation, which means as far as Ratan is concerned, he is an employee of the Tripura government. One day, the bus he was posted was struck in huge traffic jam caused by a major political rally. He noticed some people participating in the rally were looking unwell, but he thought this was because of a very hot and sunny day. He got off the bus, offered some water to these people. While he was doing so, he overheard speeches being made at the rally and decided to stay for a little while to hear the speeches. When he got back to the bus, the driver asked him why he stayed at the rally. Ratan told the driver that he found the speeches very interesting. The bus driver reported this to the manager at TRTC, who issued an order dismissing Ratan from the service for having violated the rule. Is the order valid? No. He just attended the rally. Attending is not equivalent to participating in political activity. Same Lipika Paul case all over again. So the answer has to be, is the order valid? No. Choice B and C. Since TRTC is a private body, no, TRTC is not a private body, it's a government body. Choice C is B is wrong. Had not participated in political activity by offering water to animals or by lifting. Choice C. Okay. So I hope this explains to you what is this animal called unfamiliar passage all about. Okay. Identify the principle, apply the principle. Okay. And the principle will be explained in the passage also, and the exceptions, if any, will also be outlined. And that is what we have seen in these two passages. Okay. So, couple of important things. Jugaad skills. And jugaad, I'm again saying, is nothing but common sense. All of us have it, but when we start taking a paper, we suddenly want to be absolutely prim and proper. Apply your common sense. Logically, what seems right is likely to be the answer. Okay. Secondly, remember mocks, very important. Keep doing the mocks, and in mock test, we'll be sharing jugaad solutions for various areas. So please stay in touch with it on a regular basis. And yeah, I'll come every week, meet you. So don't forget to subscribe and like this channel so that you can be updated on whatever we are doing. So that's it from my side for today. All the best. Thank you very much.